Hello, folks. Welcome to the Hello World, podcasting with Magdalena. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to my podcasting, Hello World. And I just wanted to welcome everybody. And for those who are new, I just wanted to let you know that, my podcasting is about the personal growth, mastering ourselves, figuring out who the heck we are in this midst of this whole creation and this whole mumbo jumbo zoo. And in the meantime, I also love to use astrology for the personal and collective guidance. So, my favorite question, how is everybody doing? I know it is just very interesting, say to least. But still, I just wanted to welcome everybody and let's see what we can do in this whole intense period of times. So, what I decided I would love to actually talk about today is that just to kind of little put the emphasis on the retrograde planets. And what are they actually really trying to tell us? And another question, what I may also ask here is that I want you to consider the question, what is a real transformation or alchemy when we can really, transform one situation in another one? Or how about forced changes? And the reason why I was kind of contemplating this question is that right now we have so many people, who are really, moving forward in this time of change and really working on themselves for the transformation. And then we have another group of people who think, hey, just let's go on and, see, let's go on the ride and see where the journey is taking us. I would say this, don't be surprised if you recognize, somewhere on the journey that this is not something you were thinking to be, but it was kind of a hidden agenda of the forced change. And this is why I am looking for to kind of integrate this retrograde planets and the meaning, what they are trying to say to us, so we can actually really, get to the point what it's all about. Right now, we have actually Sun in Leo. Tomorrow we are having, actually today is still the moon in Aquarius, and we will have tomorrow a full moon in Aquarius, so this will not be posted until tomorrow, so by the time you're listening it will be a full moon in Aquarius. Mercury is right now in Leo, Venus is in Leo, and Mars is in Leo. These are very much actually our personal planets. So it's about ourselves and how we are expressing ourselves. And the Aquarius is actually on one side is Aquarius is about liberation, and Uranus is the ruler of the Aquarius, and we know that Uranus is also brings at a sudden change. We've been actually experiencing this last month with what's the name? A lot of the Cancer energy, and the Uranus is right now in Taurus, and it's a retrograde. So it's impacting actually our Scorpionic energy. And let me just go to the rest of the planets. Jupiter in Sagittarius, it's moving finally forward. Saturn is in Capricorn, going retrograde. Uranus, as I said, in Taurus is retrograde. Neptune in Pisces is retrograde. Pluto in Capricorn is retrograde. Chiron in Aries is retrograde. And True North in Cancer is retrograde with our Lilith in Pisces. So as I've been saying, this whole Leo Aquarius things, axis and personal planets are most about ourselves, how we are integrating ourselves. And the moon in Aquarius is kind of pulling us in the opposite direction and just kind of trying to expand to the bigger picture. Aquarius is kind of giving us a brighter perspective or a bigger perspective. Leo is more personal planet here. And since we have so many retrograde planets, some of them are really actually pushing us for the transformation. First of all, Saturn, being retrograde. The best way Saturn to describe in this manner is that when the Saturn say, I'm so done with this, I do not have any interest anymore, to continue the way it is. Bang, crashing, it's like, no, I'm not playing this game with you anymore. So we are end up to get forced for a change. Another thing is, Jupiter in Sagittarius. The Sagittarius is about the truth, and Jupiter represents spirituality. And the Jupiter says, it's like, what? If you really wanted to, know more and, play a responsible and awakened person, then please stop lying to yourself. These statements are very harsh, folks, okay? But sometimes life has to be harsh because we are not willing. We are just kind of playing around and not willing to go through the change. And the same thing with Uranus right now in Taurus, retrograde. We've been talking in the past about, it's about our personal will. The most important thing right now is, standing in our own truth, standing up for ourselves. We've been giving our power away for zillions and eons of years, because we always say, oh, just for the sake of this, for the sake of the harmony, for the sake of God knows what, we are always kind of giving in. Not recognizing by giving in, we are also giving piece of ourselves away. And in long run, it becomes a huge issue because there's not much left for ourselves. And the biggest ruler right now here, what we are really getting kind of hit or kicked in butt, is the Pluto in Capricorn. Because Pluto is helping the soul to liberate itself or, manifest in this physical reality. And it's really looking for cooperation, with a personality, which would be actually Cancer Leo energy, okay? And Pluto says, you know what? If you don't want to do it, well, I will force you. And that's where the huge dramas and tragedies are sometimes happening in human lives. And, and then all of a sudden, we kind of go into this, oh, the God is injustice, doesn't God see what's really going on, blah, 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 blah. Okay? But what is really going in the background with that is that we are the one who is creating our reality. And we cannot blame on anybody else here. Okay? And also the creation is giving us the free will. Because actually through our feedback, back to the creation or creator, We are the one who is helping the creator to experience itself. So, a lot of the time, people look, like I said, having a hard time to accept the changes because they are not recognizing that we are actually here dealing with a much, 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 much bigger picture, folks. And right now we have actually also Lilith in the Pisces, and she is again pretty brutal and forcing us to go in the deepest pain that we are hiding or don't want to experience. So many times, Pisces is also actually connected to the karma. And how many times, we are kind of asking, oh my God, why do I have to deal with this karmic issue, blah, 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 whatever. It is all about, taking responsibility for our actions. And that's, I think, the biggest issue for all of us, because we've been so used to, to help others, do so many things for other people, and, putting ourselves in the background and, playing actually on the some level the savior, even it's an unconscious aspect of ourselves. And now when we are stopping and, asking this other person, take full responsibility for their own actions, all of a sudden they are just standing in front of you. It's like, what do you mean? I'm sure you had all these experiences, when people say, what you mean you cannot do this for me or whatever. But these are the changes, folks. And as I've been talking about, this year is really cleaning. So, in preparation actually for 2020, even though, there will be still quite a bit of hiccups on the road, but do not get discouraged about. And also I've been talking about that, the difference between the real transformation and forced changes. I've been watching actually last week the video about the new money that is happening in Beijing, China. And as I've been watching that video, I was actually kind of disgusted with the whole idea. The reason why, because people are still not grasping the magnitude that we are actually going through the much deeper transformation, that we are actually going beyond money. Okay? Money is just the exchange system, and money is just the tool that we are using, in this whole process. But we are kind of getting involved on the whole much bigger level. And what it was kind of frustrating to me to watch that is that, what they're doing really right now, they are putting, I think around 55 or 60% of the population, they are putting all the cities and making a cashless society. Well, I was actually today even reading a little about the UN Agenda 2030. How everything is about nice words and nice packaging. Okay? And from one side, we are seeing the earth is getting totally terraformed. On the other side, it's look like everything, on the sustainable level, how we can, dismiss this, not dismiss, but eradicate diseases, everything, so eradicate poverty, blah, blah, blah. But what is not being talked about here is the flip side of that. Who will do that, all this thing? What's the whole intention behind? It's a total control of the humanity, folks. I mean, I was just watching about what's the global, actually the UN, the World Health Organization. They've been talking about, I think, over 120 plus or 130 forced vaccination they are trying to play in 2020 or 21. And people are also talking about, what's the name, If you need the driver license, or if you want to fly, and if you're not complying with those vaccination, you are not gonna to fly, or you're not getting the license.